Video Store. I'm your host and manager of the video store, The Dead, Bud Hattenfield. And on this little short episode, I would like to talk about my most rented movies from the video store. I said in one of the previous episodes that I was born in the mid-'80s and I grew up throughout the '90s, and one of my favorite places to be was the video store. So the movies that I checked out was always the coolest horror movies with the cheesiest covers and the awesome atmosphere that it had on the shelves. So I'm going to give a little history lesson. I grew up in a small town called New Iberia, or as it referred to as the Berry, which is kind of a shithole in itself, but it'll be all right. So they had a couple video stores, one being Blockbuster, and Blockbuster was cool, but it had, for some reason, it would only keep the newer movies, and as the movies would get older, they would sell it off, and I would end up buying it. But they had this one awesome store called Magic Video, and they had pretty much every horror movie you could think of on VHS. And they also had a deal. It was 5 movies for 5 days for $5. And my allowance for the week would ironically be $5. So every Friday, I would get my mom to go drop me off, and I would just pick through the VHS tapes for about 45 minutes to an hour, and I would find 5 of the best ones that I could find. So with that, like I said, these movies are not in any particular order. It's just 10 of my most rented movies. First one's going to be Rumpelstiltskin. What can I say? It's Rumpelstiltskin. Please, somebody put this on Blu-ray. It follows the old fairy tale that you got to guess my name, and I'm going to steal your kid, and I'm going to rip out Chubby's eyeball, and it's Rumpelstiltskin. All right, next, Motel Hell. This movie was really cool. Farmer Vincent, cooking people, smoking them. Wolfman Jack, John Ratzenberg, I think that's his name. Ham from the Toy Story movies, he's in here in a very small cameo as a band member. You got Ida. She was Beulah Ballbreaker from the Porky movies, so let's go to see her in that one. All right, moving along. Mosquito. Love this movie. I rented this movie so many times throughout the '90s. Gary Jones. Great man. Good movie. Good movie. Keep going. Popcorn. It was a cool slasher movie that took place in a movie theater. And it had like movies within the movies, and one of them was a mosquito creature. So it was cool. Like the killer wore everybody's faces. Yeah. Next one. Ticks. Seth Green at his finest. You had Carlton in it, which that was pretty cool. And you had Wayne Szalinski from the TV shows Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, which he passed away. So sorry to hear about that. But ticks. Giant mutated ticks that got big because they were fucking around with some toxic chemicals that they were putting on marijuana. Clint Howard. I'm infested. Next. This was the weirdest movie. Okay. Like I said, I was going around looking for the coolest covers, and I came across this one in the '90s, and it did not let me down. We're talking Hard Rock Zombies. It had Nazis and boobies and heavy metal. Well, I don't say heavy metal. It was rock and roll, but Adolf Hitler. That motherfucker. But yeah, Hard Rock Zombies. Demonic Toys. Full Moon features at its finest. Takes place, I think, Christmas Eve. It's technically a Christmas movie. And two cops are undercover trying to close out a deal with some dudes with guns, and one of the guys gets killed, and she shoots one of the bad guys, and his blood falls on this weird thing that's on the floor, which has like some kind of portal to hell, and it brings out the demonic toys, and you got fucking Jack Attack and Baby Oopsie Daisy and the teddy bear. It was cool. It was fun. It was cheesy. Cheesy 90s at its finest. So, keeping the ball rolling, we're going to go with Sleepaway Camp. This movie fucked me up as a kid. You know, it came out in 1983. Chicks with Wieners. You know, I'm not saying nothing's wrong with it, but like when I first saw it, I was like, wait, what? But now, plus I was a small child when I seen this movie. So, yeah, got some cool kills in it. I remember when the guy got burnt with the corn water. That was pretty cool, but he was a pedophile, so he deserved it. Pedophiles are not cool. Don't be a fucking pedophile. Looking at you. You think you want to be a pedophile. But, Sleepaway Camp. It spawned several sequels and a halfway made sequel. But, yeah, Sleepaway Camp was a fun, good time. So next, Uncle Sam. I Want You Dead. This was a really cool movie. It had my homeboy that I always loved seeing, Isaac Hayes. Hello, children. But Uncle Sam, dude with the military, gets shot down by friendly fire. He doesn't die. Doesn't explain why he doesn't die. He's all burnt up. He comes back home, dons an Uncle Sam costume, goes on a killing rampage of anybody who he deems as un-American. Yeah, Robert Force was in this movie too. I know he recently passed away. The always beautiful PJ Souls had a small part in it. William Smith, who also passed away, and Bo Hopkins, who recently passed away. So, damn, that's kind of depressing. So, Uncle Sam. All right, last movie on my list, just because it was at the bottom of the pack. But when I said Clint Howard at his finest, this is Clint Howard at his finest, and it is the Ice Cream Man. I remember first watching this movie on Joe Bob Briggs' Monster Vision on TNT. And I liked it. I thought it was cool. It was funny. It was interesting. Butter Brickle. Clint Howard being an unhinged maniac. There's not much of a stretch for Clint Howard, I can presume. But I'm pretty sure he's a nice guy in real life. But the Ice Cream Man. Killer Ice Cream Man going on a rampage, killing kids, cops, parents. David Naughton. I guess he wasn't making it. But yeah, turning them up into some ice cream. We've got Olivia Hussey in it, and she was always very beautiful from Black Christmas, and she was in Psycho 4, which is kind of a mess, but fucking Mick Garris. But yep, that was this short video for this week. Glad you checked it out with me. I hope you'd enjoyed. Please like and subscribe. I'm doing this content just to have fun and to have an outlet to talk to wonderful people like you of the horror genre that enjoyed the video store and horror movie in its own. So thank you very much for tuning in. Peace out. But Haddonfield loves you. You have a nice day.